doing this for 10 years and I've been doing it wrong.
Our names are on the front door, but it's your panel, so we're just going to be taking questions, anything you want to know about comic books that we, people who are not involved in the creation of comic books, can tell you. We'd be happy to answer your questions. I'm sorry, what's your name? Yeah. Oh, I thought it was Star-Lord. Okay.
Question. Linkara, I asked you this last year. Did you finally catch up with Power Rangers?
Yeah, I'm all Power Rangers comics now. I'm not caught up with those.
Sure.
I guess I should know that just because of the fact that this is the comic panel and not the Power Rangers panel, which they should have given me. No, I'm not caught up, unfortunately. I've read all the issues of Justice League and Power Rangers that have been released, but unfortunately we may not get the last 2 issues for whatever reason.
Because I do Loot Crate, they've teamed up with Comixology and now give you free comics with every crate, and I got the first issue of Power Rangers and Power Rangers Pink. And I really like that one because that tells you what happened to Kimberly after she leaves the Power Rangers. It's a lot of fun.
So I've heard. I really got to read that.
I'd like to read the rest of the issues.
Eventually, I am probably going to cover them on a top of fourth wall. Come to think about it, I should probably schedule out a Power Rangers episode. Here's the thing: in next year for a top of fourth wall, every episode except Patreon sponsored ones are going to be a follow-up to a previous thing I've done because 10th anniversary. So I just realized I need to schedule a Power Rangers comic for that. Okay, you said.
Me?
Yep.
Have you seen Logan? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it?
I have seen Logan. I loved it.
I loved it. It was great.
Right.
There's nothing else to really say about it.
Not controversial enough, eh?
What are your thoughts on Patrick Stewart playing Pooh emoji?
Playing who?
The Pooh emoji in the emoji movie. That's his thought. He doesn't have one.
Guys gotta eat.
Hello, I'm a piece of poo, voiced by Patrick Stewart.
That's the joke.
Creature.
Any thoughts on Marvel's Secret Empire?
I'm on event burnout at this point. I've just been skipping the Marvel events for a while now, so.
Hydra is Nazis.
Yeah. What did I just read the tie-in issues that are out for Champions and X-Men Gold. That's about it.
I'm completely ignoring the event altogether. Aside from just basic event fatigue in general, it's not that interesting a premise for a big event. It's the fact that they are still pushing this, and it's really bad timing the way they're pushing this event. It's just one thing after another. There's terrible, terrible decisions they've made in regards to this. Nick Spencer is not a great writer, and so those are my thoughts. People keep sending me issues of the Free Comic Book Day Secret Empire issue, and I'm just going to keep ripping them up because I don't want them in my house. So anyway,
Luger.
Okay, Linkara, you've read The Killing Joke, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you separate yourself from animated adaptations and with comics, but what are your thoughts on Batman and Batgirl doing it in the animated version of The Killing Joke?
What do you think my thoughts are?
He suspected that.
Awkward as shit.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. Here's the thing. You can make a good adaptation of The Killing Joke. I know of several ways you can fix the problems that are in The Killing Joke, because the most interesting parts of The Killing Joke are the stuff between Batman and Joker. The way you do it is, one, you don't paralyze Barbara. You just don't have it. You just don't have it be a factor in an animated adaptation, because then you don't have the baggage of that hanging on. You can have her shot, certainly. Don't strip her naked and have the Joker take pictures. Just the image of his daughter bleeding from a gunshot wound on the floor would probably be enough to set Jim Gordon off. And like I said, you don't paralyze her. You make the focus be about the relationship between Batman, Joker, and Gordon. You just leave out all that part of it, because that's the worst part of The Killing Joke. Now, as for the stuff they added,
I was creeped out when they implied it in Batman Beyond. I mean,
That's been this weird thing with the Timverse. They really ship Bruce and Barbara, and it's not good. It's not good at all. The relationship the two have is basically a second fatherly relationship, so it just has this really creepy vibe to it. You know, you can try to de-age them as much as you want, try to put them closer together, but it just doesn't work. And then just to have an awkward sex scene in the middle of things,
Yeah, that was
especially when like the conversation is focused around like he doesn't want her to be Batgirl anymore, and just like, well, how about I have sex with you? Is that okay? Then I can be Batgirl? There's just so many weird implications and dumb things about it that just makes the whole thing a lot worse.
the Bat Family conversation at the dinner table. Dick shows up saying, "Hey, Dick, Barbara and I kind of did it," and Dick says, "Wait, first what? What?"
Christmas is always weird at that family. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the Killing Joke adaptation. Also, the first half hour wasn't even that good anyway.
Yeah.
Like the stuff they added in, like you added in a completely superfluous story that has nothing to do with anything. You could have expanded on anything. Like you could have had lead up with the Joker stuff. You could have had more thematic elements of whatchamacallit, of Batman getting to where he is at the beginning of the Killing Joke. Because if you haven't seen the Killing Joke before or read it, the way it basically begins is Batman going to see the Joker in Arkham and saying, "Look, I've been thinking a lot lately, and I think we have to do something about our relationship because I think one of us is going to kill the other soon, and I don't want to do that." And so yeah, you could have like build up to that. Like, how did he get to that point? How does he have these kind of complicated feelings? Anyway, Brian, you probably have something to say.
I didn't see the animated adaptation, so. I did see the animated adaptation of the Judas Contract that just came out, and that was god-awful. I mean, they should have just done a straight-up adaptation, but instead they kind of forced it into that new DC animated DVD universe they've been building since like War or whatever. They're the DCNU animated universe essentially, and it didn't work on a lot of levels. Plus the animation was just very crappy. It was like 90s Flash animation. I mean, it was just very bad.
Also, Kevin Smith is in there for some reason.
Doing a podcast, yeah. And they still have the creepy scene where 14-year-old Tara is wearing a nightie and tries to seduce Deathstroke, so that was gross.
Wow.
And but I still say the DVD's worth getting because they have like a half-hour featurette on there where they just talk to Wolfman in Paris about the new Teen Titans in the 80s, and that is one of the all-time great superhero comic books. Yes, you can applaud. I eat your applause on behalf of Perez and Wolfman.
Alright, so I am a very big fan of Superman, which comes as a surprise to a lot of people because a lot of people I talk to don't like Superman. Well,
These people are wrong.
like here's the thing, they offer, their reasoning is problematic by having trouble constructing a counter-argument against it, in that the whole he's too strong, too powerful argument. So I know you said that's not even a good argument, and I would like to hear your thoughts as to why, so that I can like better get my own thoughts in.
Can I just say that I never thought I'd be at a point where Superman, this title Superman is one of my favorite comics, but Rebirth has changed that. I love Superman. I love Lois as a mom. I love Little John. I love that, if Batman can have a son, why can't Superman? I mean, I love the super family right now. It's great.
Superman and Action Comics, as with Rebirth, have been fantastic. Highly recommend them. Mm-hmm. Now, here's one of your counter arguments you can make. Do you only read superhero stuff to see if someone is strong or weak? That's one part of it. Because if you think that that the only thing he focuses on is the powers, then
you're only getting half the story.
Yeah, you're only getting half the story anyway, because that's not the only thing that Superman is about. And as we saw as we've seen with Rebirth, we've had Superman as a dad, and we've seen Superman taking on the moral implications of having a son. Like the storyline that's currently going on in Rebirth is him trying to teach his son that no, violence is not everything. You have to think through what you have to do, because you could end up making things worse. Then really the argument comes down to they don't know Superman. It's like, dude, you don't know the character at all if you think that's all there is to him.
And a lot of the times the villains are still more powerful than him. Just because he has a lot of powers doesn't mean he's not going up against even stronger villains. Like the whole storyline that they just wrapped up where they were living in Connecticut or something, not Kansas, but Hamilton.
Yeah,
was
Hamilton something. I can't.
But it turns out that a bunch of the family friends were aliens in disguise working for Manchester Black from the Elite. I don't know if you know that character.
Oh, by the way, great reveal.
That was a hell of a set. He's trying to seduce, he's not trying to seduce John, but he's trying to corrupt John and make him his apprentice, as it were, you know. So
Manchester
he
Black
can have a Superman who ascribes to his morality, which is not much morality at all.
Manchester Black and the Elite have always been about we don't, damn the consequences, just kill the enemy, get it done with, do more extreme measures, and
They were the authority, essentially.
yeah.
Yep.
And Superman kicked their asses.
Doug's here. Okay.
Deadpool the Duck, your opinion. The concept though.
I haven't read it, sorry.
Oh, you haven't read it?
The what?
Deadpool the Duck. It's like Howard the Duck as Deadpool.
Seriously?
Yeah, and there's a Gwenpool too.
Which is kind of brilliant, but I haven't read it yet, sorry to say.
That's like Hit Monkey. No, come on.
Oh, come on, Hit Monkey was awesome. We have a trained assassin who's a monkey.
Let's make him wear a little monkey suit and sunglasses.
Wall.
So, are either of you guys reading Mother Panic or any of the Young Animal series of DC?
I'm not, but what I did start reading is Bug, which Cosmic Odyssey is one of my all-time favorite stories. I had like a top 11 standalone stories that you can just pick up and read without knowing a lot of backstory. Bug, Forager is the character. He's a Jack Kirby character, a minor Jack Kirby character, and he dies in this. And then the first issue, some 25, 30 years later, picks up right after his death and what happens to him. And it's by Mike Aldred, who did Madman, Ecstatic, FF, and a whole bunch of Silver Surfer. And it's just, and he's doing the writing on this, so it's just as crazy as you'd expect, but it's a lot of fun. Based on how much I'm enjoying Bug, I think I would like to see what they have for Doom Patrol and Mother Panic. I think they just had a sale at Comicology on that, but I didn't pick anything up. But yeah, maybe down the line I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say I have not read any of the Young Animal line, but I've heard very good things about it, so if you take people's general advice for stuff, might be a good thing to pick up. So, how about you, sir?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think of Super Diaper Baby?
Excuse me?
What, is there a Captain Underpants?
I have not read any Captain Underpants, I'm sorry to say.
I used to look at them when I was in for about 2 years I ran the children's section at the Oak Borders, and I remember glancing through them, but I don't remember Super Diaper Babies. Orange shirt.
Okay, in this day and age where people are adaptation crazy, they want to pick up all these properties and turn them into cartoons and movies. What would you guys say as a medium is the killer app of comic books? What do comic books offer that no other medium can really do?
Well,
Okay, even the slight advantage that animation has over comics is, of course, moving imagery. But the problem, of course, is that you still have that some animation is just too damn expensive. You can't create, huge sweeping vistas that you're continually moving around in because it's just too expensive to continually produce this. With comic books and sequential art, you have a single image that could be, let's just for sake of example, let's say you just see the lost city of Atlantis for the first time, and it's this massive 2-page spread where you get to see this gorgeous city beneath the water, twinkling lights everywhere, and you don't have to actually see it in motion to recognize the grandeur and majesty of it. It's basically seeing like every panel a painting kind of a thing.
Essentially, there's no budget in a comic book.
Exactly.
Like going back to New Teen Titans, I'm reading volume 4 right now, where Blackfire kidnaps Starfire and takes her to the Vega system, and the opening page of one of these books is them coming into the home planet, the Citadel, this warrior race, and it's just covered, it's this planet surrounded by this asteroid belt, and all the asteroids have been turned into like space stations and connected by tubes and stuff, and it's just, it shows just how good Perez is, not only in characters, but at background stuff and, scenery and things. And ingenuity, essentially. There's so many crazy ideas that comic book people put out that aren't going to see through the play it safe studio system.
The lack of budget is really the thing there. And I don't think anything captures the imagination quite the same way in that regard, because the entire idea of sequential art is that you move from panel to panel. You don't actually have to see any motion to recognize that there is motion going on. It's just like happening for you already, and a real page turner, like any good book, will just keep wanting to read more and wanting to see what's going to happen next. Even though it requires a slightly more active experience than just by watching something.
Also, it's in your hand.
And it's in your hand.
Well, in the back. Yeah.
Kind of unrelated, but a quick question for Mr. Carr over there. What was it like working with one of the greatest visionary directors of our time, Mr. Doug Walker, on the anniversary movies?
It's so beautiful, you guys!
I was in some of them too, you know.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah.
That was fun. Doug's a good guy. I failed to make a joke earlier when you mentioned that Doug was here. Like no, he isn't. That guy has hair.
That joke was funny even a week ago.
Yeah, I saw the review.
Yeah, Doug's a
shake
good
his
guy.
head.
And that's all I got to say about that. Doug's a good guy. Well, I don't mean that disparagingly. I mean, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, yeah. He's a nice guy.
Oh, I met him too.
He's a
Good guy, nice guy. Yeah, good guy.
He's an okay director. He's not all of his writing agrees with me, but you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to agree with everybody writing.
I think Doug will agree that he's a better editor than director. I'd like it, you know, if we ever did another one, we should all just kind of, he should delegate more, you know, like you can write it.
See, I was saying that 2 movies ago.
Yeah, I know.
Some scenes went on too long.
I did a movie, I could direct it, he could just edit
exactly.
it. You know?
The thing is, I like the anniversary movies, but I'm still saying, you know, you could ask us to help with this. Anyway, let's go back to comics.
The Owl.
Member of the Court of Owls there.
Oh, Lord.
I have my glasses.
What comic? I almost saw it. Yeah, for God's sake.
What comic made you guys crap your pants the most? Back to you to see. Hang on to that. The answer is actually The Night Driver, which I did for Longbox last year. Holy crap, was that good! Long story short, it's a horror comic. Basically, the premise revolves around a guy who's finds a dead body in the back of his truck, like the head of a dead body in the back of his truck, and he's like, holy crap, how did this happen? And he keeps thinking that he's seeing this car following him. And he's just slowly going crazy as his mind slowly devolves more and more. And we see like the police investigation trying to track him down, and you're not sure what's gonna happen. The Night Driver was just freaking fantastic. It's why I'm so happy I found it for Longbox last year. Check out the video.
What is this like?
Keep that in mind.
Awesome. I mean,
what
do you
comic is crap our
Crap or
pants?
pant? Yeah.
So I'm assuming horror in that regard.
Okay. I'll go with Archie versus Predator. It was that rare combination of innocence, bloodshed, and it was all